Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having a great day, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. An individual operating under the ENS name, Ethereum name service name of ND4.ETH, apparently sent 2,500 Ether, equivalent to roughly around $4.5 million to a burn address. The act, which took place on the 26th of July, is now just being noticed, and a lot of people have completely lost their mind over it, and has drawn significant attention, leading to the Ethereum community asking questions about as to why this happened. One of the most popular news stories over the last couple of days is that there's an address somewhere. There's a person. There's a human being, as far as we understand, who apparently has never done anything like this before. They apparently took 2,500 of the Ether that they had, and they sent it to an address where it basically can't be retrieved. It's kind of like a dead-end address. There's no way of getting the coins out. And I've seen everything from light euphoria and or people being really worried that this happened. People being worried because they're like, why is this taking place? Did the person need the money? There's a lot of speculation as to if the money was sent by, I'm not joking, by a jarred lover who got rid of someone else's cryptocurrencies, or was this done in an effort to raise Ether's price? That was also something that was thrown around. I would be hard pressed to believe that a coin, I think Ethereum has over 120 million coins circulating. Burning 2,500 is not going to have any effect on its price. That is a small drop in a gigantic bucket of its market cap and its network activity. This could have simply just been nothing more than a person wanting to get rid of their own coins. It could have been someone who lost a bet, who lost a wager, who told, we see this stuff happening all the time. This coin is going to hit $900 million in the next 4 days. If it doesn't, you get $1 million. Maybe this was also something that, you never really know, but for some reason, everyone was talking about this as if this was like some crazy, ridiculous, unforeseen, unheard of event. Within the cryptocurrency space, one of the more popular ideas is that cryptocurrencies are for you to do as you want, when you wish, how you decide to do so. But whenever like something or someone does something that they wish that they want to do on their own, is constantly scrutinized within the cryptocurrency space as something that must be very wrong, something that apparently is terrible. Cryptocurrency insiders are familiar with the concept of burning, the practice of permanently removing tokens from circulation by sending them to an address from which they can't be spent. Such actions are usually deliberate, meant to reduce the overall supply of a token. The intent behind this particular move, however, remains uncertain. Yeah, very popular news. Everyone was talking about it, and sure, the most that I can say, and I mean this in the nicest way, it's not my money. I honestly could care a little less than you even believe, but this was very popular news simply because people were trying to speculate. I mean, there must be other things happening in people's lives as opposed to speculating why someone sent their money somewhere else. It happens a lot of times. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just simply me not understanding the significance of it. If it had been 250,000 Ether, then we can talk. I'll even give you a good 25,000 Ether. Why they do it? 2,500, a couple $1 million. And I say that as like literally someone in the space who is constantly talking about hundreds of millions, if not billions, and soon to be trillions of dollars within the market. I've heard much crazier news, but for some reason, a lot of people thought this was the craziest thing that could have ever happened to Ethereum tokens. That's the someone else, not you, sent their coins to be burned, and I'm sure they had a good reason for it. It's a very exact number. I assume this was not a mistake. Usually when you send your coin somewhere, especially like think about it this way. Has there ever been a point if you are lucky enough to own 10 ether? Think about it this way. No one sends 2,500 ether at one time. That is just not a thing. If you have 10 ether, you send a fraction of an ether to the address you're trying to send it to. You see that it goes through, and then you send the rest. You even know, like you get the pay to address as a thing. I assume this person wasn't randomly looking online. Like you can even see that it's a null address. It's like it's a burn address. So this was clearly intentional, but in the cryptocurrency world, everyone's trying to figure out what happened. That's the someone burnt their ether news. Very popular, very, very popular news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in extremely popular news, in a development, Ripple, the company, has joined the International Swaps and Derivatives Association, or ISDA, placing itself at the forefront of the derivatives market, valued at a staggering 1.2 quadrillion US dollars. So Ripple has applied and then were able to join ISDA, the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. The idea is, or at least people are speculating that, the derivatives market is absolutely gigantic. The amount of money that moves through the world, we went over this before, maybe a couple of months ago, is in the quadrillions of dollars. So not trillions, it's even another digit even further. And it's a massive amount of money. And part of the original idea for XRP was to be used for remittances, for derivatives, for quick money to be able to move around the world. If you can't find a way to do it, or it takes too long using Swift or using any other old system that people are still using, therefore you can just have everything used by XRP and or on-demand liquidity on top of the XRP ledger, and therefore sending money this way. So of course, every single time that Ripple becomes a partner of anything, speculation is abound, and everyone goes completely insane trying to figure out exactly what it means. In this instance, I will actually agree this does mean something. This isn't a random joining. It's fairly difficult to be able to join the ISDA. You have to have like certain credentials and stuff like that. It's not like they're just accepting every single cryptocurrency company that's out there. And then also the idea that we've been seeing more and more interest within the cryptocurrency space from larger financial parties. There is clearly a connection there, but I think at this point, a lot of it is just ground down into this speculative kind of idea. The move aligns Ripple with prominent industry leaders such as JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and BNY Mellon, solidifying their position within traditional financial systems. This particular membership category caters to technological solution providers and exchanges integral to the derivatives ecosystem, and Ripple now stands equal with big players and elite groups in the highest cadre, of the crypto community. This move is a declaration of its ambitions and a sign of potential growth. Yeah, you can't really say that it doesn't mean anything when they're actually part of something this large. The idea is to ease along the derivatives market and also everything else that I don't want to say was promised or that we were told that XRP would do. I still can't completely understand how anyone is still discrediting or not understanding how big Ripple actually is. And this even goes back to the good old 2016, 2017 when Ripple was in discussions with the Federal Reserve and all these other things like that. I still I get that humans have a huge amount of bias against many things, whether they be right or wrong. But to constantly still listen to like stuff that people told you back in 2017 that was all completely fake, and to hear that Ripple, the company, is just constantly expanding around the world. They're in the same exact group as JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. And for you to still sit there with your arms folded and be like, well, I'm still not buying it. It's not more so for you to buy it. I've seen that so many other times before. People posting on Twitter, not even just on my Twitter, but in general. A coin might do really well. They have like amazing partnerships. And I'm talking more about like Polygon in this instance. They'll have really good partnerships. And people are like, well, I'm not buying it. I'm buying some other coin. And I'm like, I don't understand how you... It's not even writing on the walls. It's like writing on your desk. It's writing on your floors. It's like when you go into the bathroom, it's also written in the mirror. It's kind of just everywhere there. But, you know, at the end of all of it, I think in 5 years, I've always imagined or predicted we will see the biggest winners within this space. And I think a lot of people are going to be very annoyed with themselves for having thrown money into other terrible projects. Like, name other projects that have as many partnerships as Ripple right now. Like, I mean, like of this size. I'm not talking about a partnership with Amazon Web Service. I'm not talking about one with like some candy shop somewhere in like New Mexico. I mean, like an actual like mega partnership or joining an association like this, except for Ethereum, except for Bitcoin and Polygon. Anyway, that's the Ripple has joined the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. When something comes of this, we will be hearing about it because that's how the cryptocurrency news works. These companies make sure that we always hear when something is happening with them and how much money they're making and how much money they're moving around. So, yeah, that's the Ripple news. Let's move on. Also I wish people the best news. A class action lawsuit filed against Tether and Bitfinex was dismissed on Friday by a federal judge in New York. The judge ruled the complaint lacked plausible claims of injury and failed to show that Tether's stablecoin, USDT, had diminished in value. This is something from a long time ago, and I still do not myself understand why it takes so long for these things to get resolved. But I'm glad that they eventually do, and that usually, unless the SEC is somehow involved, the correct winner usually ends up coming out as the winner. I couldn't phrase that sentence in any other way. It's still actually even happening now, but more so years ago. The same thing with Ripple, the company. A lot of people expressed huge amounts of hate or dislike for Ripple, for Tether, for Binance and Changpeng Zhao, and there was one other. I don't remember what the last one was at this moment. But a huge portion of it for Tether was something that people began to state around 2016, 2017. So you know how like there are people who like really love Bitcoin, and then there are other people who like really don't like altcoins, and there are people who like really love Cardano and really love another coin, but they don't like the other coins. Now imagine a coin that doesn't move in price, that stays exactly the same and isn't meant to gain or lower in value for people to profit from. It's meant for them to trade cryptocurrencies back and forth. Tether. They received so much ridiculous hate around 2017, 2018. And one of the larger things that floated around was that the point of Tether was to falsely and fakely create more Tether at will to be able to buy up a Bitcoin. You must remember this. This is a very long time ago. The idea was that Tether was made by a company, and these people inside the Tether company simply sat at a computer and changed the number from one day to the next to say that they had more reserves for their Tether. They then took the Tether to cryptocurrency exchanges and then swapped the Tether that was on there for free Bitcoin. Of course, none of this ended up being true. However, very similar to 2017, 2018, where people believed anything. It was same as now. Not much has changed. If anything, has gotten even worse. Back then, there was a very famous lawsuit where someone claimed that they had acquired XRP. The price had fallen, I think, by literally a smidge. And the person filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Ripple, the company, claiming that because of their actions, the plaintiff, I think, had lost, several $100s, not thousands, not millions, hundreds of dollars, and therefore they deserved millions of dollars in compensation. That lawsuit, I think, was also thrown out, or I forgot what happened behind the scenes, but it's these like really weird, I think people are just like greedy, but like in like a very weird, stupid way where they don't actually think a little bit further. But that's an entirely different discussion in and of itself. A high-profile class action lawsuit filed against cryptocurrency firms Tether and Bitfinex was dismissed on Friday by Chief Judge Laura Taylor Swain of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. Judge Swain ruled the complaint lacked plausible allegations of injury and failure to demonstrate damages resulting from the actions of Tether and Bitfinex. Here's a tweet right here. I believe this is the head of Tether, Paulo Ardoino. I think he's the head of Tether. I don't remember. The names are all kind of blending in together. The lawsuit, originally filed in October 2019, accused Tether and Bitfinex of market manipulation through the issuance of unbacked USDT stablecoins. Tether is the company that issues Tether, which is pegged to the US dollar. Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange that shares common owners and executives with Tether. Once again, the idea being people claimed quite often, and the problem is that people who make these rumors, they have no shame. So you can say like for shame, or you should be ashamed of yourself, but they do it because they don't care about themselves and or other people. So of course they're going to start making rumors like this. It happens so often within the cryptocurrency space. But yeah, this is why if you've been here since around 2020 or maybe even 2021, you've seen a lot of news about Tether having audits and hiring companies to look through their finances and look through their papers to see that they're correct, to see that they're real. Do they have enough money? You know, it keeps going on and on and on, because there's still a one news publication who I assume at this point has either, I was going to say sold their soul to the devil, but I assume that is well beyond, who is clearly working with some other company who's trying to start their own stablecoin that's simply not doing well, because every month or two they release a new article about how Tether's doing something, but there's never sources. There's never anything to actually back it up. So yeah, happy for the people from Tether. Glad to know that Tether is also one of the companies who was like extremely transparent with the cryptocurrency space, because they're also the largest stablecoin issuer. So they kind of have to. But yeah, finally got dismissed. It took way too long. 4 years is far too long, especially when it's nonsense. But good for them. Golf clap. And yeah, let's move on. I'm going to roll my eyes on this one because I've grown lightly fatigued with the idea that for some reason his actions are like equivalent to being like Superman. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on within the space. Coinbase's CEO Brian Armstrong has said that the crypto trading platform may need to delist around 13 coins, including Cardano, as a result of a lawsuit filed by the U.S. SEC. For those of you who missed the video, it's been about 10 days ago at this point, somewhere roughly around there. Allegedly, listen, I have to say allegedly, but you know, they're monsters. Allegedly, the U.S. SEC came to Coinbase a couple of months ago and told them to delist everything except for Bitcoin. Apparently, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, said, no, we're not going to do that. And we don't know what the other conversations were behind the scenes. About 4 days ago from now, or before now, from you watching this video, the US SEC released a list of 48 coins that they claim are officially unregistered securities. I made the video. You can watch it. It's a short video, so you can see all the coins that they actually have on it. Apparently now the situation is that the US SEC actually does want a number of coins to be delisted. And Brian Armstrong is saying we won't delist everything, but we may have to delist around 13 coins that are currently on the platform. this also comes days after we heard from the CEO of Coinbase that they're not going anywhere. They're staying in America. They're staying in the States. And this is what I was talking about, the whole like Superman thing. I don't know if people are supposed to be applauding or being like, yeah, you're sticking to your merits. These people were never leaving the United States. They business-wise, there's so many other cryptocurrency exchanges around the world that are doing exactly what Coinbase is doing, and they have gained prominence in a number of other countries. This is why we continue to see Binance expanding and why Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet. If Coinbase decided to leave the United States, they wouldn't have much ground to run anywhere else. They would be known in many other countries, but there are so many other countries that have had crypto exchanges. Since 2018, 2019, people would prefer to use those. Why would you take your money out and put your money onto Coinbase when you know that you're already using a regulated exchange within your country? So their only option is to actually stay within the United States because they've been there long enough and they are the largest crypto exchange within the States. But also, completely different topic. The SEC lawsuit alleges that these tokens, which form a small fraction of the 240 coins that they have on Coinbase, are apparently unregistered securities. In a recent interview with the Financial Times, Armstrong described the delisting of Cardano and other tokens as the worst case scenario, but downplayed the potential impact of such a move, suggesting that their delisting would not pose a substantial loss of revenue or present an existential crisis for the company. And backing it up, not one single person who has their money on Coinbase is worried about you delisting the coins and harming Coinbase. Everyone on that platform is terrified of themselves losing money. It's such a weird space. I know he had to say it on TV because it's like from the viewpoint of the company. But no one on your platform is being like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't delist Cardano and then this damages, Coinbase's reputation. No one, it's all very cringy. Coinbase, Gemini, and Grayscale are these really weird, like, hyper self-interest corporations within the cryptocurrency space. Not to say that many of the other ones also aren't. I get that they're businesses. But it's always very weird. So as of now, this was just during an interview with the Financial Times. There has not been a definitive, we are going to delist these coins. But I implore you to listen and listen good. Everything that's happening now is just happening within the United States. Every other country will still have access to these coins, and these coins will probably still continue to do well during the course of a bull run. But once again, we will go over that if these coins are actually delisted. We just had information. This was, I think, at the beginning of the week. Sounds familiar. Beginning of the week, where there's another company who announced that they're also leaving the United States because of regulatory nonsense. They still don't have regulatory paperwork. And they said it's not really a big problem for them because the U.S., the United States, only constitutes 1% of their actual revenue. So there have been a lot of scares in the last couple of months as to which coins are unregistered securities, et cetera, et cetera. It's all complete nonsense because this only matters within the United States. So everyone else who's not in the States, this does not even pertain to you. That's usually the issue that I'm trying to bring up. Cryptocurrencies are global. So every single time that we hear that Coinbase did something or Coinbase might delist something, I'm like, this is a popular coin in 47 other countries that are pumping billions of dollars worth of trading volume into it every single day. So anyway, if we do hear exactly which coins there are, you will hear about it as well. That's the Coinbase may have to delist 13 coins news. Everyone else has left. Everyone else has made sure that they're doing business in other countries. I'm not sure how you can continue to pet the hand that bites you. I don't even know what I would even say in that sentence. All right. That's the Coinbase news. And yeah, let's move on. In the most popular news since Elon Musk was born, PayPal has introduced their own stablecoin, representing the first venture of its kind by a leading financial firm. We've had speculation for a while that maybe Amazon was going to do it. This was years ago. People thought that Google was going to have a coin, and then people thought that Apple was going to also have a coin. PayPal's mentioned this before. This is how I know that people don't pay attention to reality and to news around them. PayPal mentioned a long time ago when they first got into crypto, when they first got into Bitcoin, 2019, 2020, that they were thinking of launching their own coin. And I was like, well, it's clearly not going to be an actual cryptocurrency. It's going to be a stable coin. They are a money processing company. You can't have people on your platform trying to send their friends $45, and by the time it gets to them, it's $38. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But now they have officially announced that they are going to be launching a stablecoin. Initially reported by Bloomberg, the launch could notably accelerate the slow integration of cryptocurrencies for payment purposes. People think that because PayPal announced this, that now tons of other companies are also going to be launching their own stablecoins for the ease of money moving around the world. I'll say this, PayPal already does what this stablecoin is supposed to do. This is just another revenue stream that they're trying to build on the idea that they believe that the cryptocurrency space will continue to expand, and they want to make sure that they're actually a part of it. It's another way for people who choose to use cryptocurrencies and or stable coins to move money around, another revenue stream for PayPal. Their platform already does all of this. Like the money that PayPal is moving around isn't actually physical. It's all digital, especially if you are sending money to and or taking money away from your bank account. There's no actual physical dollars that are passing into PayPal's hands. This is simply another look how cool we are and look how much we're into the cryptocurrency space. On Monday, the internet was buzzing about the financial giant PayPal's launching a dollar-backed stablecoin. They said the vision over time is that this becomes a part of our overall payments infrastructure. This was said by their CEO. Known as PayPal USD, PYUSD, the coin is issued by Paxos and is reportedly entirely supported by US dollar deposits, short-term treasury securities, and comparable low-risk assets. It's the only way to actually do this within the United States if you're trying to launch a stablecoin. This was part of the problem a lot of you might remember when Facebook was trying to launch their own digital token. People looked into, or rather, American authorities looked into what the backing of their stable coin was going to be. And it was, I believe, Chinese bonds and like European bonds and like other places around the world. And a small fraction of it was actually by US dollars. And that's why everyone had a problem, because you're supposed to, within the United States, they want you to back everything by the US dollar because it supports the US dollar's dominance. If you launch a stable coin and you are backing it by 14 other countries' currencies, where they're going to have a problem. So clearly, over the course of the last couple of years, PayPal probably had very long conversations with people in the U.S. government and the U.S. SEC, and they all came to the conclusion that this way it could actually end up launching, because it would not have launched any other way. It would not have. And of course, it will be tethered to the U.S. dollar. It will progressively become more accessible to people within the United States, because I'm pretty sure that, is crypto on PayPal available anywhere else around the world? I'm pretty sure that it's only within the United States at the moment. And it'll kind of be the exact same thing for this coin. I have a really weird feeling this is going to be another like JP Morgan coin kind of thing, where they want other people to use it, but other companies are simply going to make their own stable coins. And then we're going to get into a situation where you have to like trade it into one to trade it into another. You have to pay extra fees to move money around, as opposed to simply, just not having this thing and just simply using Bitcoin. And dare I even say Tether? Do we need a PayPal stablecoin? No, we already have other coins, but PayPal would not benefit from using Tether, because Tether would be making receiving all the money from the transaction fees. Through the PayPal US dollar, Schulman hopes to solidify PayPal's dominance in digital transactions using technology that allows swift, inexpensive transfers without a middleman. Just use PayPal. The news follows reports in February that reported PayPal was pausing its stablecoin project over regulatory concerns. I assume they were trying to back it with something else besides the US dollar and US bonds and US treasuries. A lot of people were very excited by this news. I saw people talking about online that this is going to accelerate Bitcoin to a $250,000. No. I think this will cause more adoption. I think this will cause more players to get into the Bitcoin space and cryptocurrency market to, dabble in it a little bit. But PayPal would have to have their own cryptocurrency trading platform that was used by tens of millions of people on any given day who are using the stablecoin. Like, one of the ideas of a stablecoin is to actually, the more that you have of it, the more that it shows like the interest in the actual marketplace. But this will only allow more people to know about crypto, but it's not going to accelerate the prices of other cryptocurrencies. It's being used as a way to simply send money back and forth through their platform and trying to get other companies to also use their stable coin as well. This is going to be one of the most centralized things that we've ever seen within the cryptocurrency space. But of course, that doesn't matter to a lot of people. People don't care about where their money actually is, how centralized or decentralized things are, until their money gets frozen somewhere. I give it, let's say February of next year. There's going to be someone who has this stable coin on PayPal. Their account's going to get locked. They won't be able to access it. It'll be maybe around 6 figures. They're going to go into Twitter and they're going to complain that the PayPal shouldn't have all this power. And then we're going to have the same exact conversations that we've been having about Apple and every other centralized company. It just doesn't, it's the same loop, the same record, broken over and over and over. So cool. PayPal is launching their stablecoin. I assume we will hear in the next couple of weeks if this is going to have any actual usage outside of being able to send it. Like, will there be a yield from holding this? Will they be able to match Apple's yield of 4.5% return? Like, if you can get a 6.5% return on your money by holding PayPal stablecoin, people will use it. But just to say that this is a way to send money back and forth, we have, dare I even say it, we already have Coinbase's stablecoin. Between Tether and USDC, outside of that, there's no real use unless people are incentivized to buy this and to hold this. There's no real point in it. I think PayPal was on the right track when they added the buy feature for cryptocurrencies, but besides that, not much else is really going for it. At least my opinion. Prove me wrong, but this is not the first company to launch their own stablecoin, and yeah. Let's move on. Yeah. I do hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.